What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Dominic Rich, and welcome back to the Dominic Rich Show, where today I'm going to talk about the English Premier League title race, the race for top 4, the race for top 6, because, there's European places up for grabs, the race for number 7, because there's Europa League qualification place up for grabs, and also the relegation battle that's impending right now. Guys, if I make any mistakes, pardon me, I'm doing this video right off the top, one take, as usual. Guys, welcome back to the channel, man. How are you? I appreciate all the new subscribers to the channel, all the old heads who's been commenting all the time. I really appreciate you guys. You are the real MVP. But let's talk about the EPL title race between my team, Manchester City, and Liverpool. We also have the race for top 4. Well, 2 more slots available, and you could call it the top 6 race. But only 6 teams are in that race. The 7 to 10 are in a race for something else, and that's for that 7th spot that will entitle you a place in the Europa League qualifiers, I think. Don't quote me on that. But let's talk about this. I also want to talk about Cardiff, City, Brighton, and all the teams still fighting to stay up. First of all, let's talk about Man City versus Tottenham Hotspur. We won the game 1-0 after losing our Champions League tie. Even though we won the second leg 4-3, we let in too many goals and we were made to pay. Tottenham won on the away goal rule, and they will face Ajax in the semi-final of the Champions League. So let's briefly talk about our 1-0 victory in our Premier League fixture, because it's a very, 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 very important game. After this, we have only 4 matches left. We have to play Manchester United, we have to play Brighton, Hove and Albion, we have to play Leicester City, and we have to play one other team. Let me get that team. Burnley. Oh, that team kind of slipped out my head there. Burnley. So that's 4 very, very important games, but we won one of the most important ones in Tottenham Hotspur, a team that could actually take points off us. The only goal of the game was scored by Phil Foden, scoring his maiden Premier League goal. It was a beautiful header. He even ended up in the back of the net himself. He, is stepping up to the plate with guys like David Silva slowly being phased out of the team. So that's a huge, huge achievement, winning versus Tottenham. That took us on top of the table on 86 points with 34 matches. But Liverpool were to play Cardiff, and they won their match 2-0 on the road. I expected Liverpool to defeat Cardiff on the road. Like, come on, it's Cardiff, a team currently in the relegation battle. They're currently 18th on 31 points, and with Liverpool's win, they go back on top of the Premier League table with 88 points. They have 3 matches left to go. 3 matches, all matches, winnable games. They play Huddersfield, Newcastle, and Wolves. But a main factor is that they are still in the Champions League, and they have to play Barcelona in the semi-final, and those Barcelona games will fall between after the Liverpool versus Huddersfield game and after the Newcastle versus Liverpool game. And just before they play Wolves in the final match, they will play Barcelona again. So it's not going to be an easy 5 remaining fixtures for Liverpool at all. It won't be easy. If they do make it to the Champions League final, it will be after the final Premier League match day, and we would know who have won the Premier League title already. So Liverpool's 3 remaining fixtures, Huddersfield, Newcastle, and Wolves, I think all 3 games should be easy wins for Liverpool, but it's tricky. It's tricky. Players might be worn out after that Barcelona clash. Klopp might be forced to rotate his squad, and, it could cause them to drop points. So So let's keep our fingers crossed with that. But I still think Liverpool has what it takes to get over these three teams. Huddersfield already relegated. Newcastle right now in the table. Newcastle are 13th, 41 points. Newcastle are safe. And Wolves are currently vying for the 7th spot. So they have a lot to play for as well. But maybe by the time they meet Liverpool, who knows? They may have slipped out the race. So we have Everton, Leicester, and Watford also vying for that 7th spot. And it's really close between those 4 teams. So it's going to be a tricky 3 games for Liverpool. But I fancy Liverpool to win all 3 games. So if Liverpool go on to win all 3 remaining games, that means they will get 9 points. And they will end up on, let me do my math properly, 97 points. So 97 points. City, 4 remaining games. Let's talk about City's remaining games right now. All we have to focus on is the Premier League. We got knocked out of the Champions League. We don't have to worry about that. The FA Cup final is after the league is over with. So we have 4 matches to play. 4 guys. The first match in the last 4, we will play Manchester United. Oh, man, what a clash to look forward to. Manchester United. But, guys, Manchester United lost today. Lost on the road to Everton. 4-0 to Everton. That's the first time in the last 3 seasons that Everton has defeated Man United. This is their worst defensive season ever in the history of the Premier League. They have shipped 40 or 50 goals, I think, or 48 to 50 goals. This is De Gea's worst season as a keeper. He has conceded over 50 goals in all competitions this season. But for them to lose 4-0 to Everton, not even reply, it just tells the state of Man United Football Club right now. 2 wins in the last 8 matches. Lost both legs of the Champions League versus Barcelona. And they were hoping to come back versus Everton, but did not happen. They got embarrassed. And I'm using the word embarrassed because it's an embarrassment to lose like that versus a team like Everton. Credit to Everton, they played really, really well. Richarlison with that spectacular goal, Gylfi Sigurdsson from distance, Luca Digne with that brilliant goal as well, and Theo Walcott chipping in with his first goal of the year. Well-deserved win for Everton, who has been really, really good at home. And the last time Everton beat a club from Manchester that bad, it was Manchester City a few seasons ago when they beat us 4-0 as well. So Man United has a lot of redeeming to do. They haven't been good this season, still battling for top 4. They're currently 6th, 64 points. Chelsea, 66. Arsenal, who also lost today, 66 points. Tottenham, 67. So they're not out of the race as yet. Europa League football is definitely guaranteed for them, but they wouldn't want to get Champions League football. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer repaired things, repaired the club after Mourinho left, got appointed the permanent manager, but things have really nosedived. They've nosedived. The club is plummeting again. My recommendation, throw everyone in the garbage, all the players, and then take out the good ones. Take out the good ones and do away with the ones who are not helping the club. Take it from your rival City fan here. The club needs to be revamped big time. This is the most successful Premier League club, and what they're doing this season is just embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. So the game versus Man United, it will be at Old Trafford. I fancy us to beat this Man United team. Rashford hasn't looked good. Pogba not at his best. Fred, he should have signed with us. has had a poor season. Lukaku as well, poor season. Martial, poor season. Matic. These guys look like they're just going through the motions. Smalling, Paul De Gea. He's a really good keeper, but the defense ahead of him is just terrible. Ashley Young. All these guys they just need to revamp this club. I fancy us beating Man United. on the road. We can't afford to drop any more points because Liverpool will gain maximum points, guys. They will gain maximum points. So let us go back to the remaining matches that we have. Let us go back to the remaining games. So after the Man United game, if we win that game, we will go up to 89 points. To be correct, 89 points. After the Man United game, we face Burnley on the road. Burnley, a very dangerous team, but they have not been good this season. Could be a potential banana peel in this title race for us. But I fancy us beating Burnley. 4 days rest. I fancy us beating Burnley. Do you fancy us beating Burnley? I think you do as well. Then we have Leicester City, a team that defeated us in the league this season. We play them. We have a good break between the Burnley and the Leicester game. So we should be fresh to come back to play Leicester. Leicester, who are trying to get trying to get the 7th spot. They may be a threat. Vardy, Maddison playing well this season. They have Ndidi always solid in the middle of the field. Tillemans over there playing well, Could remember Pereira with that wonder strike verse when they played us. Harry Maguire, Schmeichel in goal. This Leicester team is dangerous, but I fancy us beating Leicester. And the reason I'm predicting us to win our remaining games is because we have won our last 10 games. Last 10. So why can't we win our last 4? Think about it. You just think about it. And then we have Brighton, who's in the relegation battle right now. Brighton is currently 17th, 34 points. But Brighton picked up a really, really, really good draw yesterday. That was a very, very good draw they picked up versus Wolves yesterday to give Chris Hughton and his boys a glimmer of hope. But hopefully for them, on the final match day, they won't need points to stay alive because they ain't going to get any. So, with 86 points right now, if Manchester City wins their remaining 4 games, we will have a maximum of 12 points. We will gain all those points and we will end up on 98 points. 2 less than we achieved last season. And it's crazy, but we will win the title by 1 point. Could you guys imagine? It has never ever happened. A team finishing first with 98 points and a team finishing second with 97 points. I think the most points a second place team ever got was 89. This would be a historic season in the English Premier League. Liverpool versus Manchester City. Who do you think will win the English Premier League title this season, guys? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm going for my team, Manchester City, to win it by 1 single point. There's also different scenarios, guys, like if Liverpool drops points, we could afford to drop points as well because we have a game in hand. So there's a lot of different scenarios. It does not have to be perfect for both teams. We both could slip up and the balance could shift to either side. But I'm going with my team to win back-to-back Premier League titles. I'm sticking with that. Sticking with it. That will be the 4th title this decade. Liverpool yet to win a Premier League title in the Premier League era. Let's just mention that. They really, really want it. They want it really, really bad. But they're in the Champions League. The focus is, kind of off balance, if you want to put it that way. They have to focus on both competitions. I think they can win the Champions League this season. They get past Barcelona, it's theirs. It's theirs for the taking. But the Premier League, we want this. So now that we have discussed the Premier League title race, guys, let's talk a bit about top four, man. Top four between Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Manchester United. Who will get top four? Whew, this one is hard. This one is super hard. So Liverpool and Tottenham got top four last season. Arsenal and Chelsea did not. Man United came second, so they got top four as well. So Arsenal and Chelsea are the two teams that really won top four. Both teams are currently in the Europa League, which is also a route to next season's Champions League, but only one can get it. It will be an ideal situation for both of them if we have Manchester City, Liverpool, Tottenham coming in third, Arsenal coming in fourth, and then Chelsea winning the Europa League. Or Chelsea coming in fourth and Arsenal winning the Europa League. That would be an ideal situation for the English clubs. Sorry, Man United, but rebuilding should be without Champions League. Europa League, maybe. That's a perfect place to rebuild. Remember Mourinho, he was doing that, and he actually won the Europa League a few seasons ago. But we all see how that worked out, the whole Mourinho project worked out in the end. So let's take a look at Arsenal, man. Arsenal, very, very hot and cold team. They haven't been good on the road. But then again, they lost today versus Crystal Palace at home. So losing to Crystal Palace at home is not a good sign. Then they play Wolves on the road. Wolves on the road. Okay, so Wolves has not been in great form as of late, but it's a really tough team to play on the road. Then they play Leicester City. Oh my God, on the road again. And then they play Brighton. And their Brighton game comes just after the semi-final match versus Valencia, so that's tricky as well. They'll have to rotate 3 days after. Then there's a second leg 4 days after that Brighton match, and then they have Burnley. So if Arsenal, I think if Arsenal do not win the Europa League, they're not gonna get top four. I'm going for Arsenal to drop a whole lot of points in their remaining games and just slip out the top four race. Tottenham, their remaining matches, they have Ajax, but before they have Ajax, they have Brighton, a team they should beat. West Ham, a very tricky game. They should beat West Ham. Bournemouth, tricky fixture again. Everton, Man United. Ooh. Tottenham, it's looking really slippery. It's looking slippery for both Tottenham and Arsenal. And these are two rivals. So it's looking slippery. Guys, to be honest, it's really hard to predict who is going to get top four. Then we have Chelsea. Chelsea still in the Europa League to face Frankfurt. But then they have Burnley tomorrow. Then they have Man United. That's a big game. They have Watford, Leicester. It's tricky fixtures for Chelsea as well. It's really, really tricky. And the last team that I'm going to just talk about in the top four race, Man United, they got Man City, Chelsea, Huddersfield, Cardiff. They should win the Huddersfield and Cardiff matches. Chelsea and the Man City game, points could be dropped. All 3 points could be dropped in those games. So I think it's going to be Man City, Liverpool, Tottenham, Chelsea, fourth. Arsenal has to go on to win the Europa League. They got to win the Europa League. If they miss out on the Europa League, they miss out on top four football, Champions League football next season. So it will be Arsenal and Manchester United, 5th and 6th. Now, for 7th, guys. 7th. I'm not going to go too in-depth in the fixtures, but we have Everton, Watford, Leicester, and Wolves. 1 point difference between these four teams. From what I've seen with Everton, they got 3 games left. Watford has 4. Wolves has 4. Leicester has 3. It's a hard one. But I will have to go for... I'm going to go with Everton to come in 7th. From what I've seen today, I think they got what it takes. Marco Silva, this team has some quality in it. So I'm going to go with Everton to come in 7th. And last but not least, guys, to discuss the relegation. We still have, well, Cardiff has 3 games left, 31 points. So Burnley are not safe yet. So Burnley, Southampton, Brighton, and Cardiff all still realistically in the relegation battle. But Brighton and Cardiff are more at risk, especially Cardiff. Only 3 matches to go. Lost today versus Liverpool, and they have to play Fulham. They could definitely win that game, but Fulham has just won their last 2 matches. Already relegated, but they are picking form. Scott Parker wants the job, so the team is playing hard, but it's a winnable game for Cardiff. Crystal Palace, also a winnable game, but Crystal Palace is looking good as well. They have survived. And last match, Man United. Could they pull it off? Could they pull it off? If they, let's say they gain 6 points, that'll be 37 points. And let's say they get 37 points. Final, 37 points. They defeat Fulham, they defeat Crystal Palace, lose to Man United. 37 points. Will they survive? Brighton, 4 matches left. 4 matches. They play Tottenham. They play Newcastle. I think they could pick up points versus Newcastle. Let's say 1 point. Arsenal, 1 point. It's not looking good for Brighton at all. It's not looking good for Brighton. Tottenham, Newcastle, Arsenal, Man City. Guys, it's not looking good for Brighton at all. It's not. It's not. They need some big performances. Let's say they pick up 3 draws. They will finish on 37 points. Who has the better goal difference? It has to be Brighton, though. It has to be Brighton. Yes, negative 21, and Cardiff has a negative 35. I think Brighton should just survive. Southampton, 4 remaining games, they got to take at least 3 points from those 4 remaining games. Like, come on. Hassan Hoto has done a good job since he came to the club. Southampton, they play Watford, Bournemouth, West Ham, and Huddersfield. Southampton will be safe. Southampton will be safe. And the last team that potentially could get relegated, Burnley. Last 4 games. Burnley, Chelsea, Man City, Everton, Arsenal. Tough. Real tough. But they're only 1 point or so off from safety. Burnley has to pick up a point. So Burnley will be safe. I'm afraid to say Cardiff. I'm sticking with Cardiff. Everything has just went against Cardiff this season with Emiliano Sala passing, and they signed in Oumar Niasse, and he has not yet scored a goal for the club. I saw them play versus Liverpool. They had the chances. They just couldn't get good connections. And I'm afraid it's going to be Cardiff. So Cardiff relegated alongside Huddersfield and Fulham. Everton 7th. Man United 6th. Arsenal 5th. Chelsea 4th. Tottenham 3rd. Liverpool 2nd. And Man City at the top. Guys, that's my roundup of this week's English Premier League to talk about the title race. The race for top 4, the race for that 7th spot, the Europa League spot, and of course the relegation battle. If you have anything else to add, please do so in the comment section down below. Guys, remember, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, so don't come on here commenting your bullshit about I did but say something positive. Get out of here with the negative energy, please. I'm not with the negativity. Okay? I'm letting you know that right now. If you're new, subscribe. As I said, leave a comment down below. Smash the thumbs up button. Let me know if you think it will be Man City or Liverpool. And until next time, peace out. Rich Squad.